just like we do after victories, we move on, and we'll get started today. So that's that process has begun. Medically, obviously Rick Stanzi will be out this week and most likely next week, and then we'll go from there. I think Brett Greenwood and Colin Salmon both have fair chances of making it back. We'll see how that goes this week, but we plan on seeing both of them out on the practice field today, so we'll just kind of wait and see how that proceeds. Captains are the same guys: Pat Anger, A.J. Eads defensively, Tony Moyaki, and Rick Stanzi on offense. And then, as far as Ohio State goes, it's really pretty simple. They're an excellent football team, very, very talented, extremely well coached, and I think most importantly, they're really playing well the last 3 games. They seem to have hit stride and hit a rhythm, and they're playing really well right now. So, it'll be a great challenge for our football team. And we're kicking off at 2:30 Central, 3:30 their time. So we get from now till then to get ready for a tough game. That's our plan.
Kirk, how's Ricky doing?
Disappointed, but other than that, doing fine. Saw him this morning, and he's on the comeback trail. So we'll push forward.
Did he have a surgery?
Mm-hmm. Had surgery yesterday, and everything went well. So now it's a matter of rehab.
It's the next question. Everybody kind of wonders. People don't know a ton about James Vandenberg. What have you seen about him and through practice and all that sort of stuff that has allowed him to, I guess, get in this point, be above Wanky and all that?
Oh, they've had good competition for 2 years basically, and as the season got going, we had to make a decision when we were there. But we've been very pleased with both guys, James and John. I think they both have done a nice job. Really. First got good exposure to them last year during the bowl preparation, and then certainly in spring practice through on camp. So I think both guys are doing well. They both throw the ball well. Both are students of the game, and the big thing they lack is experience. And right now, James has a huge edge on John since he got in the game the other day. But we really like everything about him, and I think he'll respond well this week and next.
Do injured players normally travel?
Do they normally travel? We don't have a set policy either way, but we'll take Rick, and we've been carrying Jamie Murphy, I think, since Wisconsin. So just depends on usually the seniority of the player, what his role was, that type of thing. And certainly Rick's role now this week, besides his rehab, turns into helping be a tutor. Another guy that can talk with James and John. And, he started that process yesterday actually. So, or I'm sorry, Sunday night. So he's been active already, and I think that's his plan. It'll help him keep involved too.
This is probably a crazy thought, but who is number 3?
I don't know if we have one right now. Got Wyatt Seuss, Marvin McNutt. Maybe we'll put the wildcat in.
You've talked previously about how difficult it is to keep injured players involved with the team. Is that different for a quarterback than it is, say, for a lineman?
Yeah, because Rick can jump in there, especially in this situation. He can be a tutor, if you will, or a big brother, however you want to look at it. Those guys have all, they meet more than other players. They watch tape together anyway routinely, so we're not going to break up that party. And I think it's a nice way to keep him involved. And the other guys do it too, but it's not quite the same. Not quite the same.
Am I understanding right now? You're not ruling Rick out for next week, or is that?
Well, we'll see what happens next week.
Okay.
It's possible. It's possible. I don't think likely, but it's possible. And, you're really looking at a situation pretty much like Robinson, Moyaki, where these things typically are 3-4 weeks, and see what happens. But everybody's different. We'll see where he's at the end of the week, and then go from there.
Bowl game, though, you think is
I think very realistic. Yeah, I think very realistic. And, if there's a positive here, it's that we have a break after the 12 days from now. We have a break, and that's it's a week for everybody to get healthy, and certainly in Rick's case, it'll be beneficial.
What does James bring to the table from a skill set perspective?
We always go through this when, we're talking about quarterback derbies and all that stuff. And the guy's just a good quarterback. I think, he throws the ball well. Probably the biggest flaw he had when he came here, or we recruited him, I think he weighed about 170 pounds. That scared me a little bit. First time I saw him, down there at basketball practice, he had his basketball jersey on. That was a little hard to envision him playing Division I football. He looked pretty thin. But Chuck Long looked like that when he got here too, and James has worked extremely hard physically. He's a whole different guy than he was 2 years ago. And the biggest issue right now is just getting him experience, getting him caught up to speed a little bit, and bringing them along.
Is Marvin getting like emergency quarterback reps?
We haven't talked much about that, but there are only so many reps you can. The biggest thing would be to take an exchange. I remember vividly. I should know the year too. You can pretty much write this down. I think it was 1977. Pitt was beating Notre Dame at home, opening game, and they got down to the third quarterback, and they couldn't take a center exchange and ended up losing the game because they fumbled one or two. I can't remember if it was one or two, but. It was a matter of the third quarterback just couldn't take a snap, and otherwise all they had to do is fall on it and punt it, and they win the game. So realistically, that's about all your third-year quarterback can do, third guy can do. And I'll throw this one out there too, because one of my friends called me Saturday evening, Sunday, somewhere over the weekend, and he'd heard it in one of those meeting rooms on the websites or talk shows or whatever the hell it is, and word out there about Vandenberg not getting snaps. I don't know how long I've been coaching, but I've been here for a while. I've worked under Jackie Sherrill, Hayden Fry, Bill Belichick, Ted Marchibroda. Seen a lot of practices, including Chuck Knoll, Bill Cowher. I've never seen the number 2 quarterback get many reps with the ones. I've never heard of that. And supposedly that was out there this weekend. So just a little one for the record to educate the crowd. But, wow. That's kind of bizarre.
You're pretty confident that you might see a different James Vandenberg this week with the reps he's going to get?
Well, he'll be better prepared, I guess. But, our R2s get a lot of work, and I think he was prepared the other day. But, it's really, his first pass 8 weeks ago was a ground ball. His second one was a bullet, was a perfect bullet. So, I think that's, young players. And that happens at other positions, too. Young players struggle. Initially, it's just not as evident, and I teased James about that first pass he threw of his career. Like I said, he came back and threw a bullet, and I think that's what we're going to see this guy do. I mean, James is a good football player. He's walking into a tough. This is an excellent defense. It might as well be an NFL defense we're playing. So it's going to be a tough order there. The crowd noise is going to be hard. I mean, all those things. You couldn't ask for a tougher starting contest for him. But he'll get good support. He'll be prepared, and I'm not going to measure him over the next 60 minutes of play. He'll continue to improve. He's a quality football player, a quality person that works hard, and get total confidence in him.